Hi y'all, it's Cindy Cobb with Around the Town of the South, and I am sitting here with, I'm going to say an icon for Mississippi, Nancy King. She is the founder of Nandy's Candy, which she just turned the reins over to her sweet daughter, Emmy King, last year. If you go in there, you'll see her. She's always in the front. She's always smiling, so friendly. But when Emmy told me that her mother was the first Rotarian woman in the Jackson, Mississippi area, I said, I have to interview this woman. I want to hear her story. I love stories like this. I love that it takes women like you to be on the forefront for women like me. So thank you for joining me today.
Well, thank you for saying that. That's very important to me.
Well, tell me how this came about, that you were, I know you were invited to a luncheon, you didn't really know what it was, but you're about to find out. Tell me how the story goes.
Well, I went to lunch and a really wonderful man named Sutton Marks had invited me, and I had no idea. And I went, and there were 430 some odd men, and I was the only woman. And when we got in the car, I looked at Sutton and I said, Sutton, and he said, do you think you can handle it? And I said, handle what? He said, being a member and being the only female. And I was like, who wouldn't go to lunch as a female with 400 and some odd men every Monday? So I delved into Rotary, and it turned out to be one of the best things I've ever done. It's hard, I know, for young women now and young men to join organizations like that, but it means so much to the community, plus your state, plus the United States, plus the world, because Rotary is international.
Gotcha.
And it has pretty much cured polio. Bill Gates and Melinda Gates have given us millions of dollars for that, and then it has all kinds of reading initiatives. And I learned so much through Rotary and what it means to really give back, and also you make business connections. It really was helpful to me. Of course, then the second woman they took was Sister Dorothea.
Oh, Sister Dorothea. We know Sister Dorothea.
Not just, yes. Anyway, it was interesting taking me and then the sister, because I was kind of like, wild woman and then the good girl.
Balance, everything has to
I
balance.
guess so. I guess so.
So I know when you were invited, I know you were involved in the chamber through Nandy's Candy.
Right.
You came about this business making candies as a fluke, kind of, when you came to Jackson.
Well, what happened was I worked with my husband starting his business, and I told him I knew we couldn't live 24/7 together the rest of our lives working. So I had a choice of either going back to college, starting my own business, or going to work for someone else. Well, I'd already kind of worked for myself, and in 1980, a 31-year-old going back to college was not what everyone did then. It's very different today, but back then it was not at the top. You know, you were going to be the oddball out.
Right.
So I had worked at a candy store through high school and went back to him and asked him if he'd sell me wholesale, because I'd continued to buy from him, and I worked for him even after Bill and I were married back in Houston. He said, no, but I'll teach you how to make it. But he wouldn't teach me the heavy stuff, so I had to send my husband. And he came back and taught me.
Oh, wow.
And then I sent him to candy school because he's very scientific. And he came back and we fine-tuned all the formulas. They're not recipes, they're formulas.
Formulas, wow.
And so then we started, and there are so many stories through it's now 39 years in October, so I guess I should have been writing books, but I didn't do it to protect the guilty.
I love it. So when Emmy was growing up and Emmy became involved, you and your husband taught Emmy the foundation of candy making?
We had the children in the store because we'd get so overwhelmed with holidays that we'd end up taking their sleeping bags, pulling the TV out of the house, taking them to the candy store, and they'd sleep on the floor while we worked all night.
Right.
And then they were around it all their lives. But Emmy was very artistic, and she went off to the University of Kansas and got a degree in printmaking and art history, and she left for New York. And I didn't think I'd ever really see her living in Mississippi again. And then she met a wonderful young man in New York that was from North Carolina, and he ended up, after 9/11, they decided that they gave it some time, and they decided that he wanted to go to law school, and he ended up going to Ole Miss.
Oh, bless his heart.
And we were quite ecstatic, but still didn't think, you know, that was not in our plan. And Emmy came back. He ended up with a job here, and she worked. She'd worked with the gallery in Memphis, and then she did some work here with the museum, and then with Millsaps, and then she had children and kind of needed to be more part-time because she really was involved with the babies. And so she came and worked for me part-time and was doing a lot of my advertising and marketing and things like that, and because it had changed so much.
It has, hasn't it?
Since I was doing it. And so then I had some health issues about 3.5 years ago that just literally came up overnight, and it kind of got dumped in her lap. Literally. And bless her heart, she took it over, and I'm extremely proud and grateful.
Oh, you're gonna make me cry. I always cry with these things because it just means so much to leave your legacy, and you know that your baby is being taken care of because your own's taking care of it.
Well, she and I, the first year almost killed us both. We were on the phone a lot. We still are, but I think we've both grown so much. I think I've grown as a mother. I've grown as a human being. She's taught me a lot.
That's awesome.
It's been a two-way street. It has definitely not been just, Mama, what do I do? It's been, how can we work this out? And learning what's going on today in the business world. Now, yes, a lot of things still apply, and a lot of things make me crazy when I see things going on, but you know, it's for a woman in business today, it is still tough. You know, I'm watching all the things in the country, and I think it's wonderful that things that have changed, but there's some that still haven't. And
what I love about your business that you decided to bring to us 39 years ago almost, and now Emmy is taking over, is that the candies are made right here in our home, right here in Jackson. And actually, I know Emmy makes those candied apples.
Yes.
And she is working every day with all these orders. You know, used to the storefront style you had, now we've gone to online. So Nandy's Candy, needless to say, has adapted to that. And you can go in their store, and if you've not been in there, it is absolutely beautiful. The address is on the description. You've got to go in there and it's like being in an old-timey candy shop. It's got all kinds of candies.
I wanted it to feel, it had to be the experience. And the number one thing was quality. The quality has never changed. Emmy's using the same formulas, same ingredients. We're very particular on ingredients because you have to, if you don't have the quality,
it will melt in your mouth.
You know,
Really
that's the important thing, the quality. Plus, I've been extremely fortunate. I've always hired teenagers and college students, and through the years, people would boo-hoo that, and I'm saying, no, you just kind of give them some respect and credit. And I feel like they have really come through for me, and they've come through for Emmy. You know,
that's awesome.
We've been very fortunate. You know, we've gone through we haven't had a lot of, say, bad lemons in it. Mostly they have been peaches and just fabulous young people.
When I go in there, they're all friendly. They know how to help. They also have the original snowballs. You've got to go in and look at that machine. It's amazing. One last question I want to ask you. Through all of your life and what you've done, especially in our community, with not only Nandy's Candies, but with the Rotary, is there one thing that stood out to you that you were involved in that you remember and that it meant something to you?
I would say the employees that I've had that have come back to me, and very many, not all of them, but some of them still show up on Valentine's Day and they have their degree, that some of them are PhDs and have their masters, but they leave their jobs and they come back. It's because it was their first job. And the mentoring that I did with Rotary, I did some mentoring with Rotary with college students. I was involved with the scholarship for the college kids, because I'm just a real believer in so many young people that, and I, in the sense, yes, the straight A students I've had, and they're wonderful, and one of those in particular has one of my shining stars, but there's also just a kid that they have that, you see that spark in them. And one of the things that I've always said to them, when they come in the door, there's some words they're not allowed to use, and believe it or not, they're not cuss words. They're words that are hurtful. And then there's the one statement that I won't allow them to say, and that's, I can't.
Wow.
Because I feel that it is very important that you try. Not everything you're going to be good at. I'm not good at everything. You're not good at everything.
Right.
But if you have that attitude of I can't do it,
then you can't.
then you're defeated before you even start.
Wow.
That's stuck with me. And to me, the accomplishment of those young people who are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, I'm sorry to say, that means the world to me. If I've passed through this world and helped one, then that's the ripple effect. And I also learned that ripple effect with Rotary, that, you know, if you get one kid that's never been to college and you give them that scholarship and help them get through. Heber Simmons, who started the scholarship with Rotary, that was one of his main things, was the ripple effect. And I think we have to all in Mississippi look at that. Throw that pebble in there, give that kid a break, help them. They're gonna come back. You know, we worry about the brain drain and all of that. Well, if we give them something to come back to, then it's worth it.
I love that. Y'all, thank y'all so much for joining us today. I cannot thank you enough. I love your story. I love what you do in this community and now leading it with Emmy. Thank you so much for sitting with us. You know, I'm friends with people in the Rotary and I watch everything they do, and you kind of enlightened us on some of the things they do.
Right.
So thank you for that. Y'all, we could not do this without our sponsors. We want to thank Nandy's Candy, needless to say. Listen, Easter's coming up. We've got a basket giveaway. Go on my page and go on Emmy's page, Nandy's Candy. You can win an Easter basket on Thursday. We're going to be giving that away. That's going to be a lot of fun. They also are online, so if you want to order some things, you can order things online in the United States, not anywhere else. But go look at their website. It's absolutely beautiful, and all the candies are there. Also, Village Boutique, Madison, Mississippi. They've got some of the most precious things, and I was in there Saturday looking for Easter dresses. Y'all, they have some really pretty things. That's in Madison, Mississippi. Also, the Crawdad Hole, one of my favorite places to get seafood, right here in Jackson on Lakeland Drive. It is delicious. Check them out. Check out their Facebook page. And Kim Goodson, Crye-Leike Realty, she is a staple as a realtor right here in the Jackson, Mississippi Metroplex. I call it Metroplex because I like to call it Metroplex because there's so many little cities that intertwine and we're all together. So we want to thank our sponsors for this vlog today. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you around the town.